Hello everyone, how's it going? I know you guys haven't really seen me much this summer, but here I am, I'm back. Obviously been watching the Euros an awful lot and been on my holidays, had my time off work and stuff like that. So getting myself back in the routine now and getting myself into recording a few videos. I'm going to talk in this one, this is going to be a Taffs Word, this isn't going to be a Newport County blog. Although we'll mention Newport County at some point, as I tend to usually sneak the club in even when I'm doing the word on anything to do with football. I'm actually going to do it about the Welsh performance in the Euros and about how we can keep the good times rolling. In my own personal opinion on how that can be achieved. Obviously, it was an absolutely unbelievable thing. I'm recording this now seconds after Portugal had just won the tournament. So basically, we went out of the semi-final to the eventual winners. And for me, that is an absolutely unbelievable return. So unbelievable, you just think I'm going to wake up tomorrow and it's all going to be a dream, and the Euros are about to start, and as predicted we'll go out of the groups. But no, this actually happened. In a time during my lifetime I thought I'd never see Wales play at an international tournament. For me, this, just being in the Euros, would have done me for my lifetime, because I didn't expect one, you know. But to finish in a semi-final, to beat Belgium. I know historically Belgium never had a top team, but they do have a top team now. They have some absolutely unbelievable players, and one of their lesser players that they put out scored a worldie to put them 1-0 up against us. So it just goes to show, the talent that they've got in that team. We beat them. We actually beat them. We beat Russia. It was nice to get the revenge against them. We beat. I know we lost to England, but we got further than them, so it doesn't matter. We beat Slovakia, and Northern Ireland were a really good team, very much like us, a team, really really tough team to beat. Germany only beat them 1-0. We beat them 1-0. Obviously, I'm not trying to say that we are as good as Germany. Well, I guess you could say that we are, because we both got knocked out at the same stage of the competition. So I want to highlight who I think the best players of the tournament were for us. I mean, obviously, you had the obvious contributions from Bale and Ramsey, but for me, my favourite players of the tournament were Joe Allen and James Chester. I think every one of them did themselves proud. You can't take anything away from any one of them that represented us in that tournament. But the standout ones were James Chester and Joe Allen for me. Hal Robson-Kanu is going to get himself a Premier League club, and I bet Reading have been watching this tournament absolutely kicking themselves, thinking, what in the frigging hell have we done here? It's quite obvious they haven't used him right. I mean, if he's able to do what he's done in this tournament and not turn out in the Championship and score goals, well, something ain't right there. Obviously, he wasn't utilised in the correct way. He wasn't given the correct type of service. As far as I've been made aware, now correct me if I'm wrong, but he's been used more of a winger than a target man for Reading. If he had been using it as a target man and just didn't do it for them, well bloody hell, Edda just went and scored the winner in the final and didn't do it for Swansea. So, sometimes it's horses for courses, really. But I mean, it's just dawning, it's starting to sink in now that Wales actually made it to the semi-final of these Euros. And it was a very competitive Euros where the smaller teams surprised an awful lot. A Euros where the big players were kept pretty quiet. I mean, Ronaldo only really came out of his shell against us. I mean, obviously against Hungary he bagged a couple, but Portugal didn't win that game. They drew 3-3 against a team that got absolutely bumped by Belgium. But I mean, like, you had your Northern Ireland, your Republic of Ireland. They beat Italy. Iceland beat England. We knocked out Belgium. I mean, Hungary did pretty well. Albania actually looked good. A lot of the smaller clubs actually made a good account of themselves. And where a lot of the bigger team FAs and managers have been criticising UEFA for allowing these smaller clubs to qualify, obviously by means of making more qualification places and making a best third place section of bringing more teams into the knockout round. I think the structure of the tournament has been absolutely fab, to be honest. I mean, Northern Ireland got to get to a knockout round of a major tournament. The Republic of Ireland got to the knockout round You know, we got the semi-final. Iceland made it to the knockout round. You know, it was a brilliant tournament for the smaller nations, and these small nations should have the right to taste this. You know, at some time during their whatever their reign of whatever. You know what I'm on about, don't you? You know, the smaller clubs deserve the opportunity to play at a major tournament, basically. So, you know, I think these managers or FA officials from different countries are full of shit, basically. So moving on now, Wales. We did phenomenally well, as everybody knows. Great homecoming party. Fuck you, Piers Morgan, by the way. You know, you can go suck it. How do we keep this going on? Well, obviously, the only way to keep a bandwagon going, well, that's basically what we got to do. Keep the bandwagon going. We got this big bandwagon. Everybody's jumped aboard. You know, I mean, it went from 10,000 in the Cardiff City Stadium to now it's going to be difficult to get tickets. Very, very difficult to get tickets. So great. You know, if it moves to the Millennium Stadium, fine. Fan zones if it's not. You know, fan zones for people to attend. You know, keep the bandwagon going is the answer. And how do we keep that bandwagon going? First of all, everybody who jumped on has got to stay on. You know, keep pushing that bandwagon going. And also, the only way to fuel that bandwagon is new, fresh young players. Keep the conveyor belt going, keep them coming through. How do we do that? Exactly. Well, all of these fans who support English teams from Wales, obviously they've all jumped on the Welsh bandwagon, but we'll go back to supporting their English teams next season. That's a given. And I'm not going to poke at anybody any more than I usually do for that. I was one of them, and I always hold my hands up and admit, I followed Liverpool for a lot of my life. But these English clubs, I know Welsh players do come through their youth systems, but they're very few and far between, which is basically why, we haven't had the opportunity to boast many top players over the years. We do get some good ones, but it's always different generations, where you had Terry Yorth was well back in the day, John Charles was well back in the day. But then as you come along, I mean, you've had your John Toshaks, you had your Ian Rushes, you had your Mark Hughes, Gary Speed, John Hartsons, Ryan Giggs. You've had all them players come, but they've only come a few at a time. We've never had a nice big cluster of them come through like we have now. And not like what Belgium have got, because Belgium would be pretty much on a par with Wales if you think about it, over the years, Belgium obviously qualified for the odd major competition. We've narrowly missed out on a few, so, we've been kind of on a par, then Belgium has now sudden bang, all these players keep coming out and coming out. Now, we've got to keep that conveyor belt going ourselves now. We need more Aaron Ramseys and Gareth Bales, but we need to strengthen depth. Ultimately, that was our downfall from actually going on and winning this thing. The strength and depth, and obviously we lost two players to suspension, and it was ultimately our downfall. There's the difference them two players could have made. If we had identically good, good players, then it wouldn't have made much of a difference. France made it into the final without a lot of their big players, and mainly the defenders, and the way they defended against Germany just goes to show the strength and depth that France have got. Much bigger nation than ours, of course, so they're obviously going to have more people coming through. But the only way we're going to achieve this now is to have more players coming through. And how do we have more players coming through? Because we can't rely on the English teams to bring Welsh players through. We can't rely on poaching English people to come and play for Wales just because they had a granddad who was Welsh. What we need is to make sure that, I'm not telling anybody you're not allowed to go and support Liverpool, Man United if you're gonna support Wales. No, I'm not saying that. Just maybe show a little bit of love to your local team, because where you show, where you support your Liverpool, Man United, and everyone like that, you're not going every week, and I'm sure those people up there are not going to give a shit if you go and watch Newport County, Cardiff City, Swansea City, Wrexham, Colwyn Bay, Merthyr Tydfil, or even your local Welsh League team, because even they get their players through. Obviously, the good youngsters that come through there tend to get poached by the likes of Cardiff and Swansea, and then that's when you're going to get them coming through their youth systems. So basically, show love for your local Welsh teams. Go and watch them, support them, fund them, You know, I mean, at the end of the day, you're going out to the football still. You're going out to watch a live professional football match. You know, like, I know Cardiff City. I know things are a little bit iffy at the moment with the Vincent Tan situation, but at the end of the day, the only way Welsh football is going to continue to do this is by funding these clubs. Newport County, for example, now, right? I'm a Newport County supporter. As I said, I was going to mention them. We're in the process of trying to work things out to take our youth academy from Category 4 up to Category 3. Obviously, we've had some good players come through of late. Lee Evans, Aaron Collins, Regan Poole, Andrew Hughes, Tom Owen Evans, Kieran Parcell, Liam Angel. You know, we're getting a lot of good players coming through our academy. A lot of them are getting snapped up. Obviously, Lee Evans is at Wolves. Aaron Collins is also at Wolves. Andrew Hughes has just moved to Peterborough. You know, I mean, a lot of these players are finding good clubs. Regan Poole, of course, Manchester United. You know, what better youth system to be part of than Manchester United? But he came from Newport, you know, and he came through our academy, our well-run, you know, fantastically run academy. Now, we get more funding, we get more people through the gate, get more money over a season, we got more money to put in to get that Category 3. Now, you understand where I'm coming from. Category 3 means better standard of coaches, better standard of equipment, and then ultimately a further reach, you know, to go out, you know, resources to go out up into the smaller towns around Newport a little bit more, you know. You know, go out and find that talent a little bit more. You know, Cardiff City are obviously going to have a good category of youth academy. Swansea City are obviously going to have a good category of youth academy. And the thing is, the good thing about them too, they are trying to push their youngsters to come through at the moment. I'm not sure if it's the same at Cardiff at the moment. I haven't seen many good youngsters come through of late. I know there have been one or two, but you know, I don't see as many as what Swansea have been bringing through. Obviously, where you've had your Joe Allens, you've had your Neil Taylors, Ben Davis, and all them types of players. But you know, I'm sure that if we start supporting the Welsh teams, you know, the Welsh club teams in the English leagues a little bit more, because that's where the money is, you know, at the end of the day. But supporting your Welsh league teams as well. You know, I got one just down the road, Newport Civil Service. You know, and if they're playing on a Sunday, I'll nip down. I'll pay a couple of quid to go and watch their game. Yeah, you know. And anyone who does play for Civil Service or is associated with the club, you've your first. You know, if the games are on when it doesn't clash with the county, I'll go down and I'll go and watch, and I'll chuck them a couple of quid. You know. Obviously, Newport County, I've bought my season ticket again. This is the 5th season in a row that I'll have a season ticket. Obviously, before that, I went to every home game anyway. You know, so yeah, just show a little bit of love to the local Welsh teams. That's the way to keep things going. You know, get the money into these local clubs, get their money put into their academies. I know Newport County take theirs very seriously. Swansea seem to. I hope Cardiff do as well. Wrexham as well. I know Wrexham's quite close to a lot of English clubs. They're going to get your competition, but Wrexham, you're a very well supported club. And yeah, we definitely want you pitching in with your players as well. Everybody, Colwyn Bay, Merthyr Tydfil are the other ones in the English leagues. You know, follow these clubs. You know, Merthyr. You know, I mean, there's plenty of people around there. You know, get there, pump them full of money, get them up those leagues a bit more. Merthyr got promoted not too long ago. Colwyn made the playoffs but went down the season after. You know, get them back up and get them up even further. You know, get them into the conference. You know, get them up into the Football League. 6 Football League teams, imagine that. You know, be well on our way then. So there's the moral of the story then. You know, we want to keep the bandwagon running. First of all, everyone who's jumped on it, don't jump back off it. And then second of all, start supporting your local Welsh team a little bit more. You know, I'm not saying to choose them over your Liverpool. You know, I'm losing that battle anyway. No one's going to listen on that part anyway. But yeah, you know the moral. I'm not going to keep repeating myself on it. So what do you guys think? Is that the way forward? Obviously, a plan's been put in place. It's working. But, you know, the players need to still be coming through. So, you know, that's pretty much what I've said is how you're going to do that. So, yeah, cheers then, guys. For all those who've enjoyed the Euros, it's been great. Absolutely phenomenal. Now I'm looking forward to the new season with Newport County. I'm sure you're all looking forward to the new season as well. So, hopefully you'll be looking forward to regular blogs again. So, cheers, guys. Up the county. And come on, Wales.